Thanks for tuning in. Today, I wanted to toss some golden nuggets on a couple things we learned along the way during our journey as a painting business owner, especially on how we went from $0 all the way up to $1 million in revenue. It wasn't a smooth ride. There was definitely things that did happen along the way. At the very end of the video, I'm going to kind of tell you something that we did that ended up having us lose a lot more money than we probably should have, and how you can prevent that. So basically, I just kind of wanted to boil it down to a couple key takeaways in terms of like how I thought that, or like what contributed to our success in going from point A to point B. So first things first, we got good at making money without money. Okay, so the key to scaling, at least for us, at the very, very beginning, was how do we do everything without any money, or like as little money as possible. So some of you might call it bootstrapping your business, but in other words, like how could you physically hire people, grow, buy a lot of equipment or inventory or vehicles whenever you're just starting out? Because it's like, let's just say you have $1,000 to your name, you want to start a painting business. Where do you start? Okay, so like I think it only cost us about $500 to $1,000 to even kind of get it up and running. Has some miscellaneous equipment. Worst case scenario, you can always go with a sub model if you don't have any money. But in a nutshell, like what we did from the get-go to kind of just like start expediting growth was we did marketing. It didn't cost money, so that's just going on Google. You can find commercial contacts on Google, realtors. You can work your power base, which is just like your personal network, and just kind of just like get as much word out into the marketplace, make social media accounts, boost posts, and just go from there. You can even door knock. So like there's tons of ways that are free. It just costs your personal time in order to source a couple of leads. The goal with that is not to basically kind of just like get everything from that source, but just to kind of start you out. Because all you need to really kind of get your ball rolling is like 1 to 3 jobs. Because let's just say you sell your first job's a $3,000 paint job. You could ask for deposits. So in order to get them to physically get into your schedule, just be like, we require 25% deposits or 50%. So that's either like $1,000 or $1,500 that they can give you in the form of a check on day number 1 before you even start the job. So what we did at the beginning, of course, we were very particular and safe with that stuff, but we basically bootstrapped the business with deposit money to like fund cost of business up front, and basically just allocated our personal time spend to make sure we actually produce it profitably. So from there, like the reason we like the painting industry is because from day number 1, you could be profitable if you do it the right way. So making money without much money, again, like just abide by that rule until you get enough money stashed away, you're getting efficient enough to get some cash flowing, rolling in on a weekly basis. And again, like this doesn't mean just for jobs. Like you can go on Google Drive, you can get a Gmail account. So like you could do a lot of things and get like emails or databases or storage stuff for reporting without having any money. You just have to like know how to do it. Reason number 2, or second takeaway that got us to like that $1 million mark was we had a never ending lead flow. Okay, so the issue was not finding the jobs at a certain point. The issue was finding enough qualified applicants to join the team, to buy into our vision, get the job done, have them trained, and get it done in a profitable and efficient manner. Because at the very end, I'll tell you a little bit about what we did in terms of like having that go south a little bit, but never-ending lead flow, we just got really good at generating leads. So that was in the form of all of the options I just talked about at the beginning. Like every option that doesn't cost much money, but just costs your time, utilize that. Like there's no reason not to do it. Even whenever you get to the point of being able to do paid, marketing through social media, advertising, don't abandon what was working from the get-go. So like just add that as another layer once you get to the paid stuff to keep compounding your lead flow. And then before you know it, what we did, we just created a system to where like we just had like, 10 to 15 fishing lines cast out into the marketplace, and each fishing line basically got us X amount of leads per week. We converted those estimates, sold those, worked on our sales process, and then kept on converting. So never-ending lead flow, that was huge, because like then we didn't have to worry about this aspect, and we did it in a way without having enough or having money from the get-go. So once we had the jobs rolling in, that's whenever we got to a point where we had leverage to spend more time and focus on physically finding the people. So the third thing we did once we found the people, which I didn't learn this until recently actually, we implemented specialized team structures. So what I mean by that is, I'm sure we've all heard it before, that doing everything is almost like doing nothing. Meaning if you say that you can fix light fixtures or like drywall or like do interior painting, exterior painting, cabinet painting, deck restorations, the more things that you do, yeah, you can get more lead flow, which if you don't have never-ending lead flow for your specific project niche, you'll feel obligated to say yes to a lot of those things. So specialized team structures, what we do now is we literally divide our company into different sections and different buckets. So we do more, like we do interior painting, exterior, residential, commercial, we do cabinet painting, we do a pressure washing and general maintenance division. So all of those are different project types. We have people that are really, really good at cabinetry that would suck at residential. We have people that are not really good at residential working with customers, but they're amazing spraying out commercial facilities. So we specifically place people in specific divisions with their project type that they're the most strong at. And we even do like personality testing with individual painters and do a really deep dive on like what makes them tick, what motivates them, what do they like, what do they dislike, and what are they naturally good at. So we specialize those teams. So if we have a team painting cabinetry, they only paint cabinetry. They're not going to run around doing a deck restoration or painting the exterior of your home. They're just doing cabinets. So that's how we market it. We say yes, we do a lot. You probably do talk to companies that do just cabinet painting, but we are a specialized company too. So like this is how we structure everything. This is the effort we put into the back end. People like hearing that. And again, the reason that this got us from point A to point B, because the second we did that, teams got so much more efficient. They learned the SOP better. It was only one SOP instead of 5, because if they jump from like cabinet to commercial facility, that's a different way of producing that job. So like they have to learn that, which they're a little bit more inefficient with, which you don't make as much money. So like it just skyrocketed through the roof in terms of efficiency. We learned stuff more, we systemized stuff better, and it was a lot more organized on the back end. So specialized team structures, that's probably the most important thing once you actually get the lead flow. And again, you can optimize your SOPs with your teams in a way that doesn't cost a lot of money. Until you get to the $500,000 mark, you're broke. So that's not a lot of money to work with. The last thing that we did, I don't know how you think about this one, because it kind of contradicts, but there's a reason why it's at the end. So, biggest thing that got us to $1 million company is we stopped being cheap. Okay, so I just talked a lot about not spending a lot of money, but being able to make a lot of money and bootstrapping it. So this is good, but once you get to the $500,000 mark and above, but you're kind of like stagnant, you physically need team members that are really, really good, that are okay taking on responsibilities, they're responsible, they're efficient, they're A players, they mesh well with your team. You might need somebody, project managing, you might need a sales rep, you might need an office administration assistant. Little things like that just make the customer experience a lot more enjoyable and more efficient, makes everything much more doable at a larger scale. So the reason I write stop being cheap is because if you have a tendency to be cheap and kind of just like penny pinch here and there, you don't want to spend money here, you don't want to hire this person, you're not sure if you're ready for that, that's where the mental perception kind of gets like a little altered, because the only way to get to a 7-figure business is, at least 10 painters in the field, depending on what niche you're in. one sales rep, one project manager, and then maybe somebody in the office, or you can outsource that with a call center or just automation on the back end. So in terms of not being cheap, again, what I figured out, at least now, is people that are worth having on your team, that are really good, genuine employees, that are really efficient, that make you a lot of money. You have to pay them a lot of money. And ever since we stopped doing that, like, we just defaulted to like paying people a lot more. Obviously, measure that and be on top of that a lot more. But you know, if you give them more, if you give them the measurables, if you track them and give them a structure, then they can thrive. So and also you can spend more money. So you can spend more money on ads. You can spend more money on an automation system or a CRM system that texts your customers or emails them. There's a lot of things you can do on the back end that, you know, if you're not doing it the right way, or if you have a limitation in terms of that belief, you know, it's going to be so much more tougher to get to that next level. So at the beginning of the video, I told you that I'd kind of give you a little story of how I kind of like lost a lot of money throughout this journey. So one thing that I did that wasn't up here was the specialized team focus, and basically, so the specialized team focus is kind of like the focal point on this one, because it got to the point where we were thinking too small. So like, we only did like $250,000 in revenue. This was our second year in business. And we basically, remember how we were spending deposit money, basically to kind of like bootstrap the growth of the business. And our limiting beliefs of not being able to spend enough money to do this or do that, and not having enough specialization on the team structures, and being too cheap with who I actually wanted to hire, it was a really tough, small bottleneck on the production end, because there was only 2 to 3 people in the field. They weren't the right people at all. You know, like the production, in other words, was super inefficient. My time allocation was in the field so much longer than it should have been. I wasn't able to kind of be out in the field selling. There was no management, no accountability, no structure. The team culture was toxic. Nobody was making enough money, and we just weren't charging enough. So the whole charge rate thing, I actually have a video on that if you kind of cycle through our videos. But we were undercharging ourselves dramatically, and then whenever you stack an inefficiency in production on top of that, with a toxic culture, with more stress on yourself, it is not a good scenario. So I actually, like, we were negative about $30,000 that year, which was unreal, and didn't even realize until the following year. And that actually took a little while to kind of get back on out of there. But with these takeaways, I will never go back there. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. That is my takeaways and kind of like journey on going from 0 to $1 million in revenue. We will do well over 7 figures this year, and we contribute all of that to these takeaways and the full systemization and automation of our business. So hope you guys are killing it. Thanks. See you in the next video.